In July 2010, something really bad went down in North Carolina. A messed up marriage that ended with a wife shooting her husband. Now, if it weren't for a bunch of super loyal friends of the man, the wife might have slipped away with murder. So in this case, we're talking secrets, drama, and a whole lot more. Let's rewind to 2010 in Moyock, North Carolina, where a shocking incident shook the quiet life of Paul Stephen Jandro. Paul was a retired Navy Master Chief working at BAE Systems and had a routine life in the defense contractor world. Known as a stand-up guy with a tight-knit group of friends, he seemed to have it all together, but somewhere down the way his married life wasn't going really well. Little did he know that something sinister was lurking around the corner, and the very person he was with was behind it all. Before we dive deeper into this true crime story, please subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments. Paul's life took a turn when he crossed paths with Letitia Jandro at a kickboxing class. They tied the knot in 2003, seemingly living a normal life in Moyock. Letitia, a bodybuilding champ, added a layer of intensity to the seemingly typical union. Paul, having 2 daughters from a previous relationship, balanced family life and work, but deep down, they were having troubles in their marriage, and some relatives even hinted at them wanting divorce. Despite attempts to mend their differences and build a family, their relationship soured. By 2010, they were reportedly living as strangers, communicating only through text messages. Testimonies from co-workers, neighbors, and Paul's attorney shed light on a troubled union. Both parties had expressed their desire for a divorce, creating a palpable tension in the household. Talking about Paul's loyal group of friends played a pivotal role in uncovering the truth behind Paul's sudden disappearance. Little did they know that Letitia, the seemingly accomplished wife, had something dark hidden away, an ominous secret that would forever alter Paul's life, or perhaps bring it to a tragic end. Paul's friends, accustomed to his punctual routine, hit the panic button when he went MIA from work on June 30, 2010. No calls answered, no sightings, just radio silence. Being concerned, they rang up the Currituck County Sheriff's Department, initiating a series of events that would unravel a web of secrets. Deputy Sheriff Lisa Starcher went on a routine welfare check at Paul Jandro's residence on Armstead Court. At around 7:44 a.m., Deputy Starcher arrived at the Jandro residence, only to find Letitia, Paul's wife, unreachable. Despite the eerie silence, Paul's 2005 GMC Sierra pickup sat idly in the driveway. Letitia eventually returned around 8:30 a.m., allowing Starcher to inspect the residence. Strangely, nothing seemed amiss on the surface that day. Scattered across the driveway was a Lowe's receipt, dated July 1, 2010, for a large tote, which carried the investigation in an unexpected direction. This seemingly innocent transaction now served as a scary trail that linked the dots and suggested a deliberate attempt to destroy evidence. An unsolved issue persisted as Moyock struggled to make sense of the disclosure of these dark secrets. What could push someone to such extremes, leaving a once stand-up guy like Paul Jandro to meet such a horrific end? The community was left in amazement and shock as the dark details of this enigmatic murder came to light. The police stumbled upon more than just a crime scene when they returned to Paul's place on June 30th, days before finding his lifeless body. Oddly enough, the once exposed windows were now concealed with a mysterious mix of a blue tarp, tin foil, or frosting. As days turned into an unsettling silence, with no sign of Paul, authorities began to suspect foul play. The missing puzzle pieces prompted them to secure a search warrant. In the early hours of July 3, 2010, officers returned to the residence, and what they discovered was beyond disturbing. Inside the garage, concealed beneath a pile of garbage, lay a large tote. The contents were spine-chilling. Paul Jandro's lifeless body, wrapped in plastic and duct-taped. The extent of the horror deepened as investigators found he had been shot 5 times with a .45 caliber handgun. Each bullet found its mark in Paul's abdomen, chest, thigh, neck, and hand. Paul's head bore 12 lacerations, indicating a brutal assault, potentially with a blunt object like a pistol. His cell phone was conspicuously missing, adding a layer of mystery to the already grim scene. The hardwood floor of the master bedroom was scrubbed clean, bullet holes hidden behind cork, and a blood-stained rug revealing the violent struggle that transpired. An unsettling variety of evidence surfaced as investigators searched the location. Cleaning materials were strewn all throughout the house, suggesting a last-ditch effort to cover up the horrific crime's evidence. The carefully patched bullet holes indicated a deliberate attempt to hide the violence. The kitchen contained plastic wrap, caulking, duct tape, and spent bullets, all of which added to the unsettling scene. Strangely enough, while searching the cars parked in the driveway, a little black bag containing a .45 caliber handgun, the exact weapon Paul was killed with, was discovered. It was identified as the murder weapon by a forensic firearms examiner. The gun's magazine was empty, but the frightening implications were heightened by the presence of 2 more magazines loaded with live rounds. As the timeline unfolded, the authorities encountered Latasia on July 1, 2010, in a tense situation. Paul's truck, packed with furniture, hinted at a hasty escape. Latasia, visibly agitated and frustrated, claimed to have last spoken to Paul on June 29th. A subsequent visit on July 2nd revealed more red flags. Latasia was nowhere to be found. A 911 call from her claimed she was in Chesapeake, but her cell location told a different story. She was at the Jandro residence. Friends in vigilance. In a surprising twist, friends of Paul played a crucial role in expediting the case. Upon discovering Latasia moving furniture with her brother, Eugene Askew, they grew suspicious. Eugene Askew was later identified as a person of interest in the case, and authorities sought to locate him. The vigilance of Paul's friends prevented the potential disposal of crucial evidence and hastened the law enforcement response. Latasia was swiftly apprehended and accused of her husband's murder. The narrative developed when the inquiry found that the murder weapon belonged to a friend named Lyle Koenig. However, Koenig strongly denied handing Latasia authorization to use the weapon. Reports suggested that Paul and Latasia's marriage was far from perfect. By 2010, they were reportedly living like strangers, communicating only through text messages. There were troubling tales, with Paul confiding in his attorney and co-workers about disturbing experiences, such as waking up to discover Latasia creeping across his room. This disturbing discovery prompted Paul to take severe steps, including locking his bedroom door at night. Mike, Paul's brother, provided insight into the stormy relationships. Their last meeting, at the Daytona 500 stock car race in February, became an emotional memory as Paul discussed his marital issues and suspicions of Latasia's infidelity. Mike Jandreo revealed that he had advised his brother to obtain legal counsel, and that he felt Paul had done so. The complexities of their tumultuous relationship had reached a breaking point, prompting Paul to seek to regain his life. In September 2012, the matter went to trial, revealing even more levels of complication. Latasia painted Paul as a violent threat, claiming he threatened her with a gun. Latasia maintained her innocence, claiming she shot Paul in self-defense, but acknowledged lying to authorities about her husband's location. Latasia defied Paul's order to depart the house by the end of June 2010, heightening the courtroom drama. Court filings highlighted the couple's rising tension, which was worsened by Latasia's refusal to leave the Jandro home. After nearly 2 hours of deliberation, the jury reached a harsh verdict. Latasia was found guilty of first-degree murder and larceny of a firearm. On September 28, 2012, she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of release. Despite her subsequent appeal to the North Carolina Court of Appeals, the verdict stood, sealing Latasia's fate. Latasia is currently imprisoned at Anson Correctional Institution in Polkton, North Carolina.